Hey guys, it has been a while since I posted a video. Oh my goodness. I will be posting in probably a couple of days to a week, something like that, a life update video. I'm just waiting for a few little things to kind of fall into place. So if it's more than a week, that's why I just need those last little things to be in place, and then I can post an update video and let you know what I've been getting up to during, these awful, times. And I'm going to update you guys on all of that, but I can't do it just yet. So I wanted to come back and have a video that was a little easier, maybe a little less controversial. I know I've posted a couple of things that, well, I think I get death threats no matter what I post. It's really kind of unfortunate. Also, if you are gonna send me that kind of stuff, please at least be a little more creative. It's really boring to read the same bullshit over and over and over again. Be more creative. Anyways, today we are going to talk about the difference between a fetish and a kink. And this is one of those things that just kind of gets under my skin. You guys who know me, who've been around for a while, know that I really like precision. And I like, definitions and things like that. I like it when things are a little more, or at least some things, are a little more concrete. Now, other things can be definitely very fluid. And I'm cool with that. So these definitions are from one of the dictionary sites. I can't remember which one I went to, but it's all going to be very similar, if not exactly the same. So the definition of a fetish, and this is one is a little bit of a mouthful, is a form of sexual desire, and I'll put it up here for you guys too, but a form of sexual desire in which gratification is linked to an abnormal degree to an object, item of clothing, part of the body, etc., 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 right? So it's not, oh, I really like latex, or oh, feet are neat, or any of those kind of things. It's, I need these things to be present in order for me to get any kind of sexual satisfaction out of an encounter. And that's usually whether it's like partnered encounters or solo or whatever. And it doesn't have to be like, the item doesn't have to physically be there necessarily. It's usually better if it is, but they would imagine it, they would be fantasizing about whatever it is that they have the fetish about. And then a kink, on the other hand, is a little easier as far as definitions go, but it is a person's unusual sexual preference. I just wanted to interrupt myself here to point out that while the definition says that a preference must be a sexual one in order for things to be a kink, obviously non-sexual kinks exist, and that is something that we need to recognize. And as somebody for whom kinks are not necessarily sexual, I did want to acknowledge that. However, most of these sort of dictionary definitions do tend to revolve around the sexual. So for those of you who do not find kink sexual or can separate the two, just bear with me throughout this video. I see you, I am you, and we just sort of have to deal sometimes with the definitions that are given to us. Anyways, back to the video. Only thing that will arouse you, that kind of thing, and those other things are in place. So we can see there's quite a difference between fetish and kink as far as our definitions go, right? So fetish, we need the object of the desire to be present for, sexual satisfaction and those kind of things, whereas a kink is just like, something that's a little odd that we like to do. So fetishes quite often end up being things like as I already mentioned, feet is probably the most common fetish, or latex, or like just any kind of thing where the person is like, it's not normally a sexual thing and it needs to be there. Now, fetishes only become a disorder because we don't want to pathologize people's sexualities, obviously, but fetishes only become a disorder when they interfere with what the person would consider to be their normal sexual relations, right? So this isn't my opinion of what normal is or your opinion. It's the person with the fetish. If this is interfering with what they consider to be their normal sexual relationships and it's causing them distress, then it will get into the realm of a clinical sort of thing where, we can talk to a mental health professional and deal with it that way, about or saying that they had this fetish or whatever, right? And so the whole point of this video, the conflating of fetish and kink, right? Like, how can you rely on people to sort of self-report, especially like if you aren't giving a definition, right? If I give you those definitions and then ask you, do you have a fetish? Then you can be like, well, according to your definition, yes or no. But like, if they don't have those definitions, then how do we know that they're not just being like, yeah, I have a kink for this, or I have a fetish for this, and I really mean kink. Yeah. So it gets messy. I couldn't find any exact numbers for you guys, and that is pretty much to be expected with a lot of the sexual stuff, right? Hard numbers are hard to find, and no pun intended there. Kinks themselves are obviously going to be a lot more common than true fetishes. So kinks can be things like spanking or role play or bondage or humiliation, all that kind of stuff. And those are some of the more popular ones for sure. Another big sort of difference between the two is that fetishes can, and not that kinks can't be, but fetishes can kind of run the gamut between very, very generalized. So for instance, we're going to use foot fetishes as a sort of example, because it's the most common, plus there's so much variety within it. So somebody could just, in general, like feet. So they like bare feet, stocking feet, socks, boots, high heels, like you name it. They like all of the things. And then, and this is something that I really truly discovered when I was doing pro dom work, is that there are some people that have very, very specific kinks. So they only liked dirty feet, or clean but stinky feet, or, feet, it can even get like so precise as to like, toes curled, toes spread, things like that. There's a lot of just little niche things that, like, until you dive into that world or encounter somebody that has some of these kinks, all that kind of stuff, you'd be amazed at how many different ways there are to look at feet. I certainly will never look at feet the same again. And now I have actually dated a foot fetishist, and it was challenging. If we would like to get into things about like talking about dating fetishists or advice for fetishists who are dating, and in this case I'm using it in the very true sense of the word that we defined earlier, where it's like you need it in order to get satisfaction, we can definitely do that. Let me know in the comments if that's something you guys would be interested in. Not having a fetish myself, I can only say so much, but just I have encountered quite a few of these sort of things, and I had a significant relationship with a person that had a true fetish, and so I can give you some of my insights on that. Again, take it for what it's worth. So another thing that also kind of muddies the waters here is that some people we'll define kinks differently than others, right? So we said that it's an unusual sexual practice. Well, what the hell does unusual mean, right? It's just like normal. What the fuck does that mean? So some people will call just normal day-to-day sexual acts kinks, right? So they'll say things like oral or anal or manual or group sex or whatever. Those kinds of those types of sex are kinks, right? And I guess for some people, whatever works, whatever definition works for you. For me, those things aren't necessarily kinks. Like, those are just different ways to have sex. There's lots of different ways to have sex, and those are some of the ways. So I'm definitely in the, like, we need other stuff in order for it to get into the realm of kink. But if you're not, that's okay. We don't always have to have the same sort of definitions of these things. As much as I would like us to all have the same definitions, I also recognize that we are allowed to define things differently. So in the end, what it comes down to is that we have to definitely, we can say, oh, I have a kink for this, or I have a fetish for that, or whatever. But that's just, again, the beginning of those conversations, right? So it's the same as saying, oh, I'm a dominant, or I'm a this, or I'm a that, right? That's the beginning of the conversation, and then we have to talk about what we mean, right? Are you into something so much that it like, hey, you know, you're gonna be head to toe in latex every time we want to get it on? Or is it like, hey, this is just a kink. Like, it's super fun to dress up head to toe in latex and go out to the club and then play afterwards or whatever. Not me though, I don't like latex. It is way too hot and sweaty, and I love to be hot, but not a fan of latex. I'm old fashioned, I'm a leather kind of girl, for sure. But anyways, yeah, so we need to have that conversation. We need to talk about it. We need to say, okay, here's what I'm into, but here's what that means to me. Right? So just like everything else. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted a little quickie to come back to be like, hi, I exist. And yeah, so I'm going to leave it. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around for so long when I haven't posted. I do really, truly appreciate that. If you made it to the end, let me know what you want to see in upcoming videos. I've got a couple that I have written and I'm in the process of recording and editing and stuff. But let me know what you want to see and we will make it happen. I don't know who we is. It's just me. But we'll make it happen, damn it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much and I will see you in the next video.